making tombrown. Tombrown is roasted mixed cereals, which is very nutritious as well as very tasty. The kids will love it and you will also enjoy it. And the good thing is it's very easy to make, and today we are making it right at home. So don't go anywhere, let's get straight into it. So let me take you through the list of ingredients before we start. In here I've got some organic peanut powder and corn flour, a whole wheat, and some soya beans. I'll leave the exact quantities in the description box below, so be sure to check it, okay? If you do not have peanut powder and corn flour readily available, just get some whole yellow corn and peanut and roast it, okay? To amplify the taste of our ingredients, we'll begin by roasting them, and I'm going to do that in my skillet over here. And this will be done on low heat. Make sure to stir continuously as you roast it on medium-low to low heat, as when you leave it, it can burn. And sometimes we do get tired, so we sit down to do it, okay? It's your kitchen, so feel free in there. As you roast it, your kitchen will smell amazing. And when it's amplified, then you know that it's ready. Just make sure it's golden brown, okay? But not burnt. So the next to roast is our whole wheat. I'll toss that into the skillet. Mind you, if you do not have a skillet, you don't have to worry. You can use any frying pan, but do that on low heat, as the skillet is heavier than the normal pan. So as you can see, it's changed in color and the aroma of the wheat is coming out. It smells really amazing here, and that is one of the secrets of tombrown. You cannot do it without roasting your ingredients, and I'm loving the results. You can see it looks very golden than before. It's an indication that it's ready. And this is the last batch, looking all golden. All done and good. Now we'll leave them to cool down and continue. So our ingredients have cooled down now. I'll begin blending them all together using my dry ingredient grinder. Make sure that it's completely cool before you grind it, or else the heat will cause it to clump together. When blending, feel free to mix and match as you prefer. You could actually mix them all together if you have a bigger grinder, but I have to do it in smaller batches because my grinder is smaller, and you want to make sure that it becomes very smooth before you pour it out of your grinder. All I'm doing now is to ensure that all the whole ingredients are grinded into a powder form. So let's all sit back, relax and enjoy. And that is the last of the whole ingredients done. Next thing you have to do is to sieve it with a very fine sieve. You sieve your ground ingredients to ensure that there are no gritty bits in your tombrown when done, cause you want your tombrown to be as smooth as possible. And look at that, that's the bit I'm talking about. I'm not going to throw that away, I'm going to set that aside, and when done with the sieving, I'll grind all the excesses to ensure it gets finer. We are not wasting any food here at all. First sieving is done, and this is the excess bits or the gritty part, which I'm going to blend later. Because I want the tombrown to be very fine, which is the typical tombrown we all know, I'm going to go in with an even finer sieve than the previous one. If you do not have this type of sieve, don't worry, because you can use a cheesecloth, okay? After using the finer sieve, you can tell there is still a lot of gritty parts left. We're not going to throw that away. We will blend it again to make it finer. As I said before, we don't want to waste any food at all. Second sieving is done and I'm very happy with the results. You can see it's just like powder, and that's exactly what we are looking for. This is the gritty bit, which I'm going to blend again as said before. So just repeat the process, blend it to make sure it's fine enough, sieve it with a finer sieve and repeat it until it is all done. Now that we have it all very smooth, I'll mix it with my corn flour and peanut powder. Make sure to mix it well until they are all thoroughly combined, okay? At this point we are basically done, but to get that tombrown from home, transfer it back to your skillet or pan and roast it on very low heat. At this point, don't stop stirring, because as soon as you stop stirring, your tombrown will burn, just like you see on your screen. I had to show you this because I made a mistake of pausing in between, and that almost caused it to burn. So don't be like me. Keep roasting until the color becomes a lighter shade of brown and it's ready. Kindly roast it in batches, because if you do it at a go, it will cause a big mess and it will also cause it to burn. So make sure to do it in batches, okay? Transfer it to a flat surface or a tray, spread it out and allow it to cool off. Just look at that. It's so smooth, just as tombrown has to be. Don't mistake this for your face powder, okay? Once it's cooled off, store it in an airtight container. I'm stressing on airtight because if your container is not tightly sealed, your tombrown is going to flatten and that wouldn't taste good. So make sure it's tightly sealed with no air penetrating into the container. Now let's move to how to make your delicious tombrown for breakfast. Scoop some of the tombrown into a pot. Depending on the quantity you're making, use a larger or smaller pot, okay? I'm using a small pot as I'm not making a lot. Add some water in bits. If you add the water all at once, it can become watery, and that means adding more of your powder and making more of what you might not be able to consume. So make sure to add it in bits. Using a whisk, mix it together until you get a smooth paste. Then add some salt to taste. As mentioned before, salt always amplifies the taste of sweet meals, so adding just a pinch is okay. Set it on fire on medium-high heat and stir continuously using your whisk until it solidifies, just as you see on your screen. Depending on how thick or light you love your porridge to be, add some more water or serve it and enjoy. I prefer it between hard and soft, so I'll add some more water and continue stirring with my whisk until it's very smooth. I'll then add some sugar to taste. I'm using brown sugar as it's healthier than white. This is just by the way. I'll then stir it a bit more and voila, it's ready. Serve it and enjoy. Tombrown always goes with some good evaporated milk. It tastes so good with it. So if you haven't tried that before, do try it. And just look at that, it's so smooth and the texture is just perfect, just like home, and it's going down. I enjoyed this tombrown very well. You ought to try this, okay? Do try it and thank me later. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do recreate this recipe, don't forget to tag us on your Instagram status at debziesdelight. Until we meet again, I love you all, but God loves you the most. Bye for now.